Woo! You just got a referral. Feels like a gift. Until the client asks about things that you don't do. An old price? A special discount that you gave someone else? Just a one-time thing? An unlikely turnaround time? A different editing style? A level of flexibility that doesn't match your vibe or work with your process? Now, the client is confused. You're placed in the position of correcting the story, and the client experience already is off balance before rapport has had a chance to build. So in this lesson, we're talking about the referral mistake that confuses clients. It drains your energy and it puts your professionalism to the test. More importantly, we're going to talk about how to prevent that. Hey there, Lens Legends, and welcome to another episode of the Portrait Profit Show, where we focus on the business side of photography. I'm your host, Jim Landers, your guide on the business side. The Portrait Profit Show is brought to you by Digital Pro Lab and Landers Photography School. For Digital Pro Lab, Amanda and her amazing, wonderful team are just going to make you look like a hero. I mean, she hires such fantastic people that it just happens by default. If you haven't already, I want you to go to digitalprolab.com. I'll put it here up on the screen so that you can see that. I'm sure you know it, but just in case, digitalprolab.com. Man, you are going to be surprised at the difference the Digital Pro Lab can make. And if you haven't already printed your work, I come across people so many times who've never printed their work. You haven't experienced the full amount the photography can give to you until you've seen your work in print. Go to digitalprolab.com. See the difference that they can make. The show is also sponsored by Landers Photography School. That's me. That's my company. I teach both the photography side and the business side. I do spend more time on the business side, which I just have come to love. Surprisingly, I don't know how it happened, but it has happened. And so I encourage you to take advantage of not only watching the show, but also going to my website at landersphotoschool.com. Or take advantage of the 15-minute free meeting that I give to anyone who asks for it up until the time I fill my schedule. But you'll see my schedule when you go to it because it's just a link to my calendar. And that's the address. I'll put it up one more time just in case that was there too short a period of time. Do a screenshot so you have that. It's calendly.com/photoschool/15MIN. That will take you straight to my calendar so that you can put yourself on my calendar. Now, I want you to go to the comment section right now and enter in hashtag live. That tells me you're watching right now on either Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn or YouTube because we're simulcast to several different places. And if you're watching the replay, then comment hashtag replay. I also request that you share the Portrait Profit Show. It's real easy if you're watching on Facebook. Just hit the share button or tag someone just by hitting the @ symbol and then their name. Let other people know about the Portrait Profit Show. Now, referrals are wonderful. When someone says your name to a potential client, there's often a trust already attached to that conversation. The person inquiring may feel like they are not starting from zero because somehow they know, like, or respect that's already been pointed out to them in your direction. Part of the reason why referrals feel so good is when they come in, it's because they often arrive with some relationship already in place, making it easier for you, for them. But today I want to talk to you about a specific referral mistake that creates confusion or sometimes frustration for clients. Definitely frustration for photographers. Sometimes tension with other vendors, with family, with friends, with past clients. A referral can create confusion when someone else starts explaining your business for you. They quote an old price. They promise a discount that they got, that they think that you can get to just by asking for it. They maybe want a different editing style. Maybe they tell someone you can turn images around faster than you actually can. They say you're affordable, and the client hears they'll work within whatever budget I have. They say you can fix it in editing, and now the client expects that was something that was never part of the process. This topic today came from a real conversation with a photographer who had been receiving referrals from someone who was sharing inaccurate information about her pricing, editing expectations, workaround times, and discounts. What stood out to me was not only the uncomfortable situation, but her response when I suggested that she utilize a referral guide. She said she had never thought about using one before. Actually, she said she had never heard of one before and would absolutely create one going forward. This is exactly why this lesson matters. Sometimes the problem is not that people are unwilling to refer us well. Sometimes they have never been clear on the way to do it. In other episodes, we have talked about making it easier for people to recommend you, building trust, creating a client experience that naturally leads people to recommend us. But this lesson's different. We're talking about what happens when someone else starts explaining your business for you. Now, most of the time this happens with good intentions. I'd say all the time, but I have come across examples where that wasn't the case. But almost always. Sometimes the person referring you is genuinely trying to help. Maybe all the time. They may not understand that an inaccurate referral can create an uncomfortable experience for everyone. And sometimes, yes, it may be just carelessness. It may be repeated. It may even become a pattern that requires a firm boundary. But before we jump to motives or what we do in specific situations, let's look at the business lesson. The goal of a referral source should be to open the door, not define your business. That's your job. It's what you do. Your pricing, your process, your editing style, your turnaround time, your availability, your boundaries, your client experience need to come from you. When those things come from someone else, especially someone who doesn't fully understand your business, a misunderstanding is likely. Let's move into the first chapter. A referral usually feels good when it comes in, almost always, because someone thought of you. Someone said your name when you weren't around. Someone believed your work might be a good fit for a client, a couple, a family, a project. That kind of trust is valuable because the inquiry often begins with a warmer connection than a person finding you completely on their own. The difficulty begins when the client arrives carrying information that is incorrect. Maybe they were told you offer a discount. Maybe they were told your turnaround time is shorter than it actually is. Maybe they were told you're flexible and they interpret that as permission to expect a process that you don't provide. Now, the referral still came from a positive place, but the conversation is already off balance. Instead of coming with rapport, curiosity, and a clear communication, you're placed in the position of correcting expectations. Now, before the client has had a chance to understand how you work, they're already comparing your real business to the version that someone else described. Your business evolves. Maybe your work is more focused now than it was a few years ago. Maybe your pricing has changed to reflect your experience, your cost of doing business, the level of service that you provide. Maybe you once made exceptions that you no longer want to do or just no longer fit your process. Maybe your turnaround times have changed. Your client experience has become more defined or refined. That kind of evolution is healthy. It's normal. It's part of becoming more intentional about the business you're building. Of course, people remember the version of your business they knew before. Maybe they remember what changed, or excuse me, what you charged then. Or they remember and appreciate the exception you made for them and figure you would do it for anyone who asked. They may not realize that your business has changed, and if they have not been given a clear way to refer you today, they may describe something that no longer matches your current pricing, your process, your style, your availability. That is how a referral that begins as a compliment can become a client experience problem. When someone refers from assumptions instead of current information, the client arrives with expectations you now have to correct. The relationship begins with correction instead of connection. Not where we want to start. That is the mistake we're looking at in this lesson. It's not a referral system problem in the sense that needing more people to talk about you. It's a communication problem. The client heard something before they reached out to you. And that something shaped what they expected from your business. It's what caused them to reach out. And now we can't control the conversations people have about us when we're not around. We can make accurate referrals more likely, though. We can give people better language, clearer limits, and a simple path for sending someone our way. When people know how to refer you accurately, the client has a better chance of arriving with expectations that fit the experience you actually provide. Are you feeling this? If you are, go to the comments section and enter in yes. Now, if you haven't already, enter in hashtag live, letting me know that you're watching the show right now with me live. Chapter 2. When a client arrives with incorrect expectations, it is easy to feel frustration right off the bat. They may ask about a price you no longer offer, a discount you never actually approved, a turnaround time that doesn't fit your process, a level of flexibility that would pull the experience away from the way you actually serve people. In that moment, the inquiry feels like a problem before the conversation even had a chance to become a relationship. But a confused client does not automatically mean a difficult client. It just feels that way for a moment, potentially. Sometimes the client is simply working with the information they were given. They may have no idea the information is old or incomplete or just plain wrong. From their point of view, they were referred by someone they trusted, and they're doing exactly what they were encouraged to do. They reached out. They asked the question. Like all prospects who reach out, they are trying to understand whether you are the right fit for what they want. That distinction helps us respond with professionalism. A difficult client may resist your process after you've explained it clearly. A confused client may simply need accurate information directly from you. If we treat every confused client as though they are already being difficult, well, we risk creating tension that just didn't need to be there. The better first move is to bring the conversation back to clarity without making the client feel embarrassed or believing something they were told. A simple response might sound like this. Thank you so much for reaching out. I'm glad you contacted me directly so I can give you accurate information about my current pricing, process, and availability. That kind of sentence does a lot of work. It welcomes the client. It does not criticize the person who referred them. It gently establishes that current information comes from you. It also resets the conversation without sounding defensive. You're not apologizing for your pricing. You're not over-explaining your boundaries. You're simply bringing the client to the real version of your business. From there, you can explain your actual process in a way that's calm and clear. Let's say you're a wedding photographer. You might say, my wedding collections begin at $2,500. My typical gallery delivery time is 2 months. My editing style is consistent with the work shown in my portfolio. If that aligns with what you're looking for, then I can't wait to continue this conversation. Of course, your wording will depend on you and your business. A portrait photographer may talk about consultation, artwork, ordering appointments, or product timelines. Whereas the wedding photographer may talk about collections, gallery deliveries, second photographers, albums, engagement sessions, save the date, bridal portrait. A branding photographer may talk about planning, usage, wardrobe, and image selection. The specific details change, but the purpose stays the same. Give the client accurate information without turning the inquiry into a complaint about the referral source. You can correct the information while still honoring the fact that someone thought enough of your work to send a potential client your way. The client just needs clarity. If the corrected information still fits what they want and value, you can keep the conversation moving. If it doesn't, you can let them know graciously that you may not be the best fit for what they're looking for. Either way, you have protected your professionalism and given the client a better experience than confusion, defensiveness, or accusation would have ever created. Someone else's inaccurate promise does not become your professional responsibility. Your responsibility is to respond clearly, kindly, and professionally. That response gives the client the best chance to understand your business as it actually is, not as someone else may have described it. Make sure to hit that like button or that love button when you hear something that you like. By the way, if you're watching on Facebook, you can watch it in the feed, but you can only hit the like button once. However, if you actually click on the video, you can click on that like button as many times as you want. So I encourage you to do that. Or the love button, or the laugh button, or whatever it is that feels appropriate for the comment that I just made. Now, we're moving into chapter 3. We often think of the client experience as beginning when the client contacts us. Maybe they're filling out a form from your website. Maybe they send you an email. Maybe they make a phone call or send some kind of a message, a text message, a DM, whatever they reach out. That's when the experience begins. That is the point where we can respond, guide, educate, and serve. But the client has already begun forming expectations before the first contact ever reaches us. The client experience begins with what they have heard about you or what they have researched about you. It begins with what they believe about you. True or false, it doesn't matter. It begins with what they believe about you. It begins with what they expect your pricing to be, what they think your process includes, what they believe the next step will feel like. It begins with your website, your social media, your reviews, your past clients, your networking contacts, and the people who refer you. That's why inaccurate information referrals create more than just a small inconvenience. They shape the early experience before you have an opportunity to guide it. If the client arrives expecting one price and learns the real investment is different, the conversation begins with adjustment, uncomfortable adjustment sometimes. If the client arrives expecting a different editing style, the conversation begins with clarification. If the client arrives expecting some special exception, the conversation begins with possibly a boundary. We can handle all these moments well. We can be gracious. We can reset expectations. But every correction changes the tone of the early relationship. Instead of the client beginning with confidence, curiosity, and trust, the client may begin with wondering who misunderstood whom. A strong client experience is built on aligned expectations. That does not mean every person who inquires already knows every detail of your business, of course. It means the basic direction should make sense. The client should have a reasonable sense of the kind of work you do, the kind of process you provide, and whether your pricing and approach are a likely fit for what they value. This is where marketing, referrals, and client experience all connect. A referral is communication. When that communication is clear, it helps the client arrive with confidence. When that communication is inaccurate, it can create confusion before the relationship has had a chance to form. That's why guiding referrals is about serving the client from the beginning. When people know how to talk about your business accurately, the client's first real interaction with you has a better chance of starting with clarity instead of correction. If this is helping, put "it's helping" in the comments. Or if you're just enjoying this, just say yes. If you're getting it, say yes in the comments. And also, if you haven't already, enter in hashtag live, letting me know that you're watching live. Chapter 4 of 5. I want you to make referrals easier. Once the client conversation has been handled professionally, the next step is to make future referrals easier for the person who sent them. If someone thought enough of your work to send a potential client your way, that's worth appreciating. Now, how you do that, that's a different episode of the Portrait Profit Show where I talk about writing thank you notes and sending messages or sending a text or an email or maybe a promotional item with like a pen with your name on it. Those kinds of things. We're not going there for this episode though. The goal is to give them a simple way to keep helping while making sure the client receives accurate information directly from you. People who refer you need an easy path. A helpful referral can be as simple as sending someone to your website or contact form so you can guide the conversation from there. That keeps the referral source in a comfortable role. They get to make the introduction, and you get to explain the current pricing, availability, process, next steps. Everyone is better served because the information comes from the right place. Now, what actual words might I use? A message like that may sound like, thank you for sending people my way. Thank you for sending. And now when I say people, I mean actually say the name of the person who was sent. Or if they've sent several, maybe you just say several. But thank you for sending Joe Smith my way. I really appreciate it. To make it easier for you, the best thing to do is send them directly to my website or contact form. That way I can walk them through the current pricing, availability, and next steps. Now, a message like that keeps appreciation in the conversation and gives the person a clear path forward. It also removes the need for them to remember any details that can change as your business grows. Now, you're not diminishing any of that excitement or any of the other things that they may say about you. You're causing things that could be variables to come out of that conversation so that they know you are going to handle that. If you want to give them exact words to use, which you might want to do, or at least suggest, keep these words short enough that someone would actually use them. For instance, whatever the name is, the name of the business they're recommending. So let's say they're recommending Jenny Smith. Jenny Smith may be a good fit. Here's their website so that they can walk you, so that she can walk you through the pricing, the and whatever else, the availability, the style, the next steps. You're going to write these. Now, I'm going to tell you how to do that here in just a moment. I'm going to tell you the important questions to include in your in your referral message. So something simple is just, it's enough. It's all you need. A strong referral source opens the door and sends the person to you with a clear next step. From there, you can determine fit, you can explain your process, and you can serve the client well, or the prospect at that moment. This approach treats the referral relationship as something worth guiding. It helps good people refer more accurately, gives the client a better first experience, and keeps your business communication clear from the beginning. So, as you know, if you've been watching the Portrait Profit Show, there is a handout for every single one of these shows. If you want it, all you need to do is do what you see on the screen right now. Go to your email and send me an email, jim@portraitprofits.com, and tell me that you want today's lesson. Now, if you want to just put a hashtag in the comments, hashtag handout will also tell me that you want a handout. But the best thing for me is actually the email, just in case I miss one of the many places where we have where we are simulcast. So either one is good. I'd prefer the email, jim@portraitprofits.com, and request today's lesson. It is best if you give the title, because especially if you ask for it later, if you're watching the replay, I might not know which one you're talking about. This is episode number 284 after all. So therefore, there's a lot that you could be asking for. But that's how you do that. Let's move to chapter 5. The more complicated a referral guide is, the less useful it may be. Kind of the law of diminishing returns kind of a feel. The goal is to give people a simple way to refer you accurately so the potential client knows where to go next and receives current information directly from you. Most of the information already exists somewhere in your business. It may be on your website, in your pricing guide, in your inquiry process, in your consultation process, or in the way that you talk with your clients, maybe on your social media. But the referral guide simply gathers the most helpful pieces into one clear place. It is simple. It's one page. It gives someone who wants to recommend you enough direction to be helpful without asking them to be a salesperson for your business. Start with what you know. The last word matters because your business may have changed since a past client, vendor, friend, or colleague last experienced it. Your referral guide should reflect the current version of your business, meaning you may be changing it. If you specialize in family portraits, say that. If your work centers around weddings, say that. If your business is built around branding portraits, or headshots, or senior portraits, or heirloom artwork, make that clear. People can refer you more accurately when they understand what kind of work belongs in your business today. kind of work you're looking for and want more of. Next, include what is a good fit. This does not need to sound exclusive or cold. It can be warm and simple. It should be warm and simple. You might say that your best clients value planning, clear communication, a guided process, finished artwork, a consistent photographic style, or realistic timelines. The words should fit your business, but the purpose is the same. Help people recognize when someone is likely to appreciate the way you work. Next, give people the right place to send a referral. This may be a website, your contact form, your consultation request page, or a specific email address. Could be a phone number, could be email. The easier the path, I don't recommend lots of paths. One path, possibly two, but really one path. The easier the path, the more likely people are to use it. If you want inquiries to begin through your website because that gives you the right information and it adds them to your database, great, say so. If your contact form helps you respond with current availability, pricing, and next steps, make that the path. If your consultation request page helps you begin the conversation with the right details, point people there. They all could be one and the same as far as those examples. Whatever it is, doesn't matter. Point people in one direction. You can also include a short note about the information that should come directly from you. Pricing, availability, turnaround times, editing style, custom requests, any kind of detail that might create confusion when they explain it secondhand. Your referral guide can handle this in a positive way by saying something like, because pricing, availability, and process details can change, please send people directly to my contact form so I can walk them through the current information. Again, this would be something that was on your referral form. Finally, give people words they actually say. Keep the referral sentence short. Something like this. Something like, how about, Sarah Smith may be a good fit for you. Here's her website so she can walk you through the pricing or walk you through the what she does during her session. Again, these are your words, not the ones I've just given you. You're going to make them your own. That sentence does not need to sell the experience. It simply points the person in the right direction. From there, you can determine fit on your own. Once you have a chance to talk to them, you can determine fit, explain your process, and begin the client relationship with clarity. Your referral guide is likely going to be just a single page PDF. Now, you could also email it, so a short email, a page on your website, a simple note you send to vendors or past clients or people who have regularly recommended you. The format is less important than the clarity and the consistency. It should be easy to read, easy to use, easy to share. Let me give you the worksheet version of this. And this is simple enough for me to just tell you. First thing, what I do. As a photographer, what do I do? A short description of the photography you want to be known for. What do you do? Second thing, who is a good fit? This is a simple description of the client who values your process, your style, and your service. Who do you want to work with? Who fills your creative energy tank and does not drain it? Third, where to send the referral, where to send people. To your website, a contact form, a consultation link, whatever preferred inquiry method you have. So that could be a phone call, it could be a direct message, a text, whatever is right for you. And then what is it that's going to come directly from me as the photographer? Current pricing, availability, turnaround times, editing style, custom requests, next steps. Lay that out. I'm just telling you the broad words. I want you to come up with the exact words that is right for your business. By the way, I don't expect you to remember all this. That's why there's a handout. So Jim@portraitprofits.com. Let me know that you want it. And it is, I don't charge for it. I do ask for a suggested donation. You can pay for it if you want to. You don't have to. Totally up to you. I don't do any accounting of it, so I won't even know if you don't. But I just have a suggested. All right. Let me give you some simple referral language. Either a name or a business name. So Smith Photography may be a good fit. Here's their website so they can walk you through pricing, styles, how they do business, availability, next steps, whatever is correct for what you do. Again, this is simple referral language, meaning they can say this to the person they're referring to you. All you have to do is refine it as your business changes. But having a simple referral guide is better than leaving people to guess. When people have a clear way to refer you, they are more likely to send potential clients with expectations that match the experience you actually provide. A referral guide makes referrals easier, clearer, and more helpful. It gives people who already appreciate your work a better way to support your business, and it gives potential clients a better beginning. Hope you've enjoyed this. I'm going to have a closing message, and then I'm going to tell you what the upcoming show titles are, the next three. The next two to end out the month of August, and then the first one in September. But let me close out this one first. A referral can be one of the best compliments your business receives. Someone thought of you. Someone trusted your work enough to remember you and say your name when you weren't even around. Someone believed you might be the right fit for a client, a couple, a family, a project. That kind of trust is worth appreciating. The opportunity is to help that trust travel clearly. And that's what a referral guide gives you. It gives them, those who want to refer you, people who already appreciate your work, a simple way to send potential clients to you with better direction and clear expectations and an easier next step. That one simple tool can support the client experience before the inquiry ever reaches you. It can help the person referring you feel more confident. It can help the potential client arrive with a better understanding of your business, and it can help you begin the conversation from a place of clarity, professionalism, and trust. So your action step this week, it's simple. Create your referral guide. One page. Keep it short. Keep it clear. Make it easy for someone to say something like, Landers Photography may be a good fit. Here's their website, so they can walk you through pricing, availability, and next steps. When good people want to refer you, give them a good way to do it. Now, let's talk about the next shows. You know that the Portrait Profits show happens every single Monday. So let's talk about what's coming next. In 1 week from today, I'll put that on the screen, and this, there we go. Personal photography projects. And I guess I should put up the right graphic. This is episode number 285. A professional photography business is more sustainable and enjoyable when the creative interests of the photographer are part of the plan. We'll talk about personal projects as a practical way to keep your creative energy tank full. You'll get ideas that you can adapt on your own, you could do it different times of the week, the times of the year, different seasons of life, and 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 it's so your photography remains a source of interest, of curiosity and creative energy. You're going to get a bunch of really cool ideas that you probably haven't heard of before. Maybe one or two of them you have, but you're going to get a bunch of really cool ideas that are just going to elevate your energy level and keep your creative energy high so that you have much less chance of burnout. And a week after that, we're going to do client leadership skills. Clients rarely come to us already knowing what to ask, and they certainly do not know how your process works. That uncertainty is part of hiring a professional. In this episode, we're talking about client leadership skills, the mindset that helps you see professional guidance as part of the client experience, so that clients feel understood, so that they're able to make better and clearer decisions and trust the process from the first conversation to the final result. So this begins where today's episode ended, just so you know. That's the last Monday of the month, August 31st. And then 1 week after that, the first week in September. This one is called Create the Incentive. We're going to talk about how to create personal incentives that help you repeat the right actions and build momentum and move your business towards the success and freedom that you actually want. Put it on your calendar. Put all of these on your calendar. Guess how much they cost? I don't charge anything for them. It's because these lessons are sponsored by Landers Photography School and Digital Pro Lab. That's why you're not paying anything for them. That's why. Take advantage of them. Don't be the kind of person that says, when I was getting started, I wish someone would help me. This is that help. Add these to your calendar. Lens Legends. The more clearly people understand how to refer you, the easier it becomes for the right clients to arrive with the right expectations. Thank you, Lens Legends, for your time and attention here today. And thank you for the hard work you put into building a photography business that elevates our industry. I look forward to seeing you next Monday. For Landers Photography School and Digital Pro Lab, I'm Jim Landers, and this is the Portrait Profit Show. I look forward to watching you grow. You are amazing. You are awesome. Bye for now.